This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Archie Porter. I was sentenced to 2 years flat for a gun and 8 years for armed robbery. Officer said I was doing 10 years altogether. You got to do the 2 flat first. Then after I do my 2 flat, I start the 8 for the gun. So it's a 10-year sentence. What have I learned since incarceration? That everything, the choices you make, the daily choices you make, you have to be conscious of them. The things around you, the people, decisions you make affect you so much. You know, the people I hung around with when I was 14, 15, 16 years old, I'm 40 years old today, and I'm still being haunted by the choices I made back then. The things I thought was cool, the people I thought was going to be there for me, you know, they're not there for you. You're making decisions based on bad information, decisions that's going to affect you for a long time. And I learned that you can't make uninformed decisions. You can't make decisions based on trying to be with the in crowd. You can't make life decisions thinking you have all the answers at 16, 17, 18, and you don't. You set yourself up for failure. So I learned that, you know, I'm not Superman. Once upon a time, I thought whatever you put on me, I can handle it. And that might be true. But when you come to prison, you don't know that you bring your mother to prison with you. When you come to prison, you bring your kids to prison with you. You don't understand all that. And so it's not just you. So I've learned that the choices I make, the effects, the residual effects, it not only affect me, but it affect my family and those who love me most. It's like it's not a reality to them. It hasn't sunk into them. They see Lil Wayne and the rest of these rappers, and they do a year or two in the joint, and they come out, and it's like a badge of honor to them. So they go out and they commit a robbery, or they commit a murder, and they think they're going to be home in 5 or 6 years. They think they're going to come back an OG. They think they're going to come back wearing their stripes, their penitentiary stripes. But what they don't know is the judge is laying you down for life. 18, 19 years old, I see them come in, and they never getting out again. You don't understand the reality of it. You don't have Lil Wayne money. You don't have that type of money to get your team of attorneys to get you out from under those murder cases and those gun cases and things of that nature. When these people get you in this penitentiary, they're going to keep you here. You are a meal ticket to them. It's just a number. You've lost your life. You playing the game. You think it's something, you out there on that PlayStation, and when things don't go right, you can hit reset. There is no reset button for us in here. Once you mess up, you got to pay the consequences. 30, 40, 50 years paying for one bad night because you wanted to hang out, smoke, and drink, and do what you do and not think about the consequences. I'm OG, I can handle it. Okay, OG, handle it for the next 50, 60 years, because this is where you're going to spend the rest of your life doing what you're doing, thinking that it's still a game, trying to earn your stripes, trying to be somebody you're not. Those OGs out there, those people they look up to, those people they think have their best interests in mind, they don't. A lot of times today, the guys I see coming in here, you know, it's a piece missing. The father is missing out of today's home. And a lot of the young men, they go searching for somebody. They go searching for direction. Gangs and whoever else, the guy on the block with the nice car in the big house, he's selling dope. He's going to put a bag in their hand. So they looking for something. They looking for some guidance. And somebody else has to show them another way to excel. Each one teach one. You know, there's more to being a man than just making money. And they're missing that lesson. And when I get out of here, I plan on teaching them you got to be grounded in something bigger than yourself. First of all, you got to find God. Whatever religion you choose, you got to have some type of spiritual foundation. You got to be grounded in something bigger than yourself. And I want to get out and teach them what it is to be a man. How to fill out a job application. How to fill out a bank account. How to do this. See, we focus on telling them what not to do. Don't do this. Don't use drugs. Don't pick up a gun. Don't do this. But then nobody's around to tell them what they should be doing. The importance of education. The importance of religion. The importance of taking care of yourself. Grooming. I mean, just something simple as keeping your hair cut and your clothes clean. And I see them in here, they don't even know how to iron their own clothes and do things. They just missing because there's a gap in the house. The father's not there and your mother's at work and nobody has time to show them, give them a basic understanding of what it is to be a man and how a man carries himself. So somebody has to be an example to him other than the drug dealer, other than, I don't even know what other examples. There is no positive examples out there for them, role models, So if you can't play basketball, if you can't sell drugs, what other alternatives do you have? And I have to give them another alternative. I have to show them how to put pencils to paper and make things happen on their own, It's another choice besides picking up a gun and picking up a dope sack. You have choices. But like I said, you make limited choices because you start to believe the lies that people have told you about yourself. You can only be this, you can only be that, you got limited choices. And that's not true. Education will open doors for you, and that's what I plan on doing. You got to educate them. You got to get them computer literacy classes. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and you have to show them you care about them. And that's what I plan on doing. Get out, saving their lives. Basically, if you give a young man, an opportunity, teach him something, you can save his life. Once again, I can't stress the importance of making good choices, surrounding yourself with people who have your best interests in mind. And it's not your friends that you think, it's not the homeboys that you think, anybody that will put a gun or a dope sack in your hand, that's not your friend. They don't have your best interest in mind. I've seen it too many times. I'm here because of it. It start out simple enough, smoking weed, selling dope, and then you become your own best customer. I seen the drug dealer myself turn from drug dealer to drug user, and then when you're no longer able to get your hands on what you need, you turn to armed robbery. You turn to any type of crime. And at the time you start, you think it's just minute, smoking weed and hanging out. You think you ain't hurting nobody. But it's a gateway that opens to crime that sends you down this path to hell that you're not ready for. You look up one day and you're just in the county jail, facing a life bit, and you wonder where did it all go wrong. Those simple, small, everyday choices that we sleep on. And so I encourage you to listen to mother, grandmother, father if he's there. There's somebody in your life that's giving you positive direction, positive influence. And so many times you turn your back to that person because you think they don't know what you're going through. You think they don't understand your struggle. And you'd rather listen to your homeboy sitting right next to you. But he's not going to be there for you when it gets tight. He's not going to be there for you when the judge drops the hammer on you and puts you in here for the rest of your life. He's going to continue to live his life. You got to think bigger than you. You got to find a spiritual foundation. When people get to talking about church and God, it automatically turns young guys away, young men away. But you have to be rooted in something bigger than yourself, because at 17, 15, 16, you don't have all the answers. And stop thinking you do. Because when you get here, you get abused. You get used. People don't care about you. They're going to continue to put stuff in your hand. You got your hand out for something and you don't know what. Instead of putting a Bible in your hand, they're going to put a knife in your hand. They're going to put something in your hand. They're going to put you to work in here. And you're going to end up being a slave in the institution. Out there right now, you're free to make all the choices you want to make, good or bad. But when you get in here, you're going to be a slave to somebody else, to these COs, to the system, to a gang. You're going to become a slave in here. And you don't have to be that. You can make a choice right now to change your life and do something positive. Enroll in school. Take that job at McDonald's that don't nobody else want. Because right now, it ain't flashy. It ain't sexy right now to be working at McDonald's or working at the mall. That ain't what the ball is doing. But you're thinking short term. You're looking at what you're doing right now. You're not looking 30, 40 years down the road. I'm in the joint right now. Most of the people I went to school with that I called squares and I called nobodies and I called lanes, they out there living their life. All the cool individuals, all the gangsters, all the OGs, we in here looking like dummies. We in here looking like dummies. And the ones that we made fun of, the ones that we thought were cool, they out there living their life. So you got to think long term. You got to break the stereotype of what's cool and what's not. Being out there, laying up with a woman, working your job, going to work 9 to 5, paying house insurance, that's what's cool. Smoking weed, running the streets, doing robberies, riding on 20s, it look good right now, but it's short term. It's fading away. You can't retire off that. Ain't no retirement home for drug dealers. The penitentiary and the cemetery, that's the retirement home. Change your opinion on.
You have 1 minute remaining.
So if I could tell them anything, I'd tell them that right now. Learn to make better choices before it's too late.